Hello everybody, today I have another Miniverse Make It Mini Cafe Series 4 egg, and today we have the, what's it called now, the Peaflower drink, butterfly Peaflower tea, and it's this lovely looking purple cat cup. So let's make that. There's a few good items in this series. I'd love to get the tang glue. Unfortunately, it's not happened yet. But I do have, I've had 3 boba tea, I've had 3 butterfly tea, 3 watermelons, unfortunately, because I didn't enjoy that one. And the Halo, which unfortunately I've lost somewhere. I'd still really like the shrimp cocktail, but unfortunately that hasn't materialised yet either. Or the falafel gyro, I think it's called. And I did have the berry Danish, which I think I do have a video on actually. And what else? Oh, the pan au chocolat, I would love that. So let's have a look what's inside this egg. So we have the ice cubes, which you can actually reuse this mould, by the way, if you want to create your own ice cubes. I have successfully done that in the past. So we have 12 ice cubes already created for you. We have the cat-shaped cup, which comes in 2 parts, and a lovely iridescent sparkle in there. Just to let you know as well, when you do put this under the UV lamp, you will need to pop it under with the lid off, because the UV lamp doesn't seem to work through this container. I did find it didn't cure very well through there, so just be careful of that when you do pop it under the UV lamp. And we have the resin, so the Rise and Shine Tea Company, which seems to feature a lot in this series, doesn't it, and future ones. So yeah, that's the resin. I'm just going to pop it upside down, and it's a little bit easier to use. We have the tongs, which are usually quite useless, but you know, sometimes they come in handy. We have a straw. And we have the coaster, again with a Rise and Shine Tea Company. I do like the attention to detail, so that's what's in there. Let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to start by just creating a little bit of a base for the straw and some of the ice. Just to let you know as well, when you put the resin in containers, and this is really a problem with the drinks containers, when you cure the UV resin, it creates heat. When it creates heat, it creates bubbles. So to avoid bubbles in the resin, you're best to create layers of resin no more than about 1/2 to 1 centimetre thick. So try and create this in layers if you can. Sometimes impatience gets the better of me. So I'm just going to create this in about no more than about 1 centimetre. So I'm going to call it quits there. Put the lid back on and pop it upside down again. So while I'm putting the ice in, I'll just pop a couple of cubes in there. In fact, we'll try and tip them all out if we can. Plain hard to get again. Let's just use a bit of persuasion there. Oh, that flicked off somewhere. Right, rejoin me in a moment when I've finished flicking them all over the room. Okay, so we have got all but 1 of those ice cubes available now. One of them did flick off somewhere in this room, and I have no idea where it went. So we're just going to call that one lost. Okay. So let's just pop these couple of these ice cubes in here. And it doesn't really matter that that resin's moved a little bit because I do want these at slightly different heights anyway. So I'm just going to pop one of those right near the bottom. Just be careful when you do this that you don't create your own air bubbles. So I'm just mindful of where I'm going to put the straw at the end. So pop that under the UV lamp. Remember that it doesn't cure very well through that iridescent container, so I'm just placing it top side up. Okay, I've just checked that and that does seem to be okay now. So we'll move on to the next phase now, which is basically more of the same but also adding the straw. So let's pop some more resin in there. So we'll just create another layer. And in this layer I want to be mindful that the ice cubes go at different layers basically. So let's just put that resin upside down again to make sure it's all available. So where's the straw? So the straw's going to go in the middle. I'm just going to put the ice around the straw. I'm going to pop some of them just down a little bit. And this is going to be interesting because I need the UV lamp to cure that with a straw in the upright position. I'm just going to use the UV lamp to hold the straw in that position because I obviously don't want to put my hand under there given that it's UV. So back in a moment when that's finished curing. Again, don't leave your hands under the lamps because there is a risk of burning and skin cancer. So just to actually mention a couple of health and safety things. One is obviously the UV lamp, the risk of burning and skin cancer. And the other is a risk to your hands with the resin. My hands are actually absolutely in a terrible condition because of some of the craft things that I do. I am waiting on some more of the the gloves, which should help. Safety glasses really are ideal for this type of crafting because splashes do sometimes happen, especially when you're pouring some of the silicone and epoxy resins. The safety glasses that I use are prescription ones, prescription wraparound goggle ones, just like that. Not terribly expensive. If I was in the UK, they cost about £100. You can get them from various opticians. They do generally have to order them in and they're not very available, so it's something that you do kind of have to ring in advance and see which ones stock them. But yeah, that's your local friendly health and safety advice. Right, we'll just give this another couple of minutes and I will get back to you. Okay, let's see how this one's doing under the UV lamp. Should be done now, it's had almost 5 minutes. So let's see. Yeah, the straw's fixed in position now. So that looks okay. I can't see any huge air bubbles in there. The ice seems evenly distributed. So I would call that a win. Oh. Let's get the rest of the resin in there. I think we're almost out of resin now, but I'd call that a day anyway because we've still got some ice to put in there. Let's just put the rest of the ice in there. We'll use a cocktail stick just to pop it under the surface. It doesn't really go under the surface very well now, so we'll just make sure some of it's distributed well and there's no air bubbles. There we go. So again, pop that back under the UV lamp, give it another 5 minutes, and I'll get back to you. Okay, let's see how we're doing. It's now had about 10 minutes actually, because I did find last time I made this one that it does take a little bit longer to cure, and I think it's because of the iridescent container. It doesn't really allow the UV light through. As you can see, it's really quite reflective, and I think it is just a little bit harder for the UV light to get through there. So there we go, you can see the ice in the top of the container. Yep. We do have the ice evenly distributed in there. It is a lovely looking cup, it's a lovely looking project actually, and it is an enjoyable one. I do think the end result is rather pretty. I'm quite impressed with that one. So yeah, lovely looking little project there for you. I do think even your little mini people will enjoy doing that one as well. So there we go, the Peaflower tea. A lovely little project, and one which I do highly recommend, and even for your mini people in your life, I think the children would find this one quite easy and enjoyable. So there you go, that's it for today, and I shall see you in the next one. Bye for now.